I do not do it for fame. I do not do it for you. I put myself through the pain. Time to start facing the truth.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. You are now in the den. So, guys, this is my review recap for Godfather of Harlem, Season 3, Episode 7, Child, All Roads Lead to Malcom. Baby, let me tell y'all, this is a whole mess. This is a mess beyond messes. This was giving me a headache, a migraine, running my blood pressure up, even though we know the history and we know how it all goes down. This is really hard to see, okay? Everybody is betraying, okay? The lady with the shells called it out. She knew what time it was and what was going down. We got the CIA versus the FBI, all the alphabets in the street, colluding and going up against each other because everybody wants Malcom. He is just that centerpiece, the hot potato, baby, that everybody is trying to get. In the meantime, you know, not only do he have to worry about them, but of course he have to worry about friends and enemies, all right, that is trying to get up in here. Now, speaking of that, child, we got raggedy behind trash ass, you know what I'm saying, Omar, still over here trying to collude and, you know, freaking pretend to be damn friend. He don't know which side is up, which way is down, which way is up, which way is in, which way is out, okay? And I wish they would go ahead and get rid of him. We got Archie over here, baby. Archie is out of here, okay? R.I.P. to him. I wish it would have been Paul. I was tired of Paul. You know, Archie ain't do nothing wrong. He was not guilty, y'all. We got Columbo trying to figure out what is going on, watching, want him dead. He's going up in here, going off on the bosses. And I said, Stella, girl, you about to bring a all-out war, okay? Stella is not to be damn trusted. She will turn in Columbo. She will turn on the bosses. She would turn on her own damn daddy, mama, sisters, cousins, child. Stella don't give a damn about nobody. She just trying to get up out of here and get to Paris, and she ready to cut everybody down to do it, y'all. All right, let's go ahead and get into this episode. Break it on down and take it from the top. So, of course, when we first see this, and you know what I'm saying, episode starting, we seeing Bumpy and them with the money. We seeing them with the coke, okay? They got the money, they got the coke, they got the money, they got the coke. Things is looking right. He's saying, baby, this is about to be ha, 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 okay, with them green dollar bills. And Joe is over here walking into the boss's meeting, and they like, yo, how the hell you bringing your crew into the sit down? What is going on? And he said, because I don't trust none of y'all raggedy ass people, okay? You know, Chen tried to put a damn hit out on me. What the hell, you know what I'm saying, is going on? Like, I know he could not do this without y'all approval. And so they over here talking about, well, maybe if you wasn't screwing his damn daughter, you know what I'm saying, then that wouldn't happen, because he was like, I've been bringing y'all millions. I get rid of Bumpy. Well, technically, Columbo, nobody asked you to get rid of Bumpy. You wanted to get rid of him for yourself because he wouldn't kiss you behind. But nonetheless, he says that they should be thanking him. You know, this is how you repay me. You get a sanction on my damn head. You know, make sure y'all get it off. And so when they say, well, you shouldn't have been screwing his daughter, you know that's against the rules. He like, what the hell are you talking about? Okay, what are you talking about? And then he calms down a little bit and sits down, because they're like saying, you know, of course, the same thing that the lawyer told Stella when Chen heard about you and her getting together, okay, having a little thing. He went berserk over there and saying, you know, we got some people on the inside that let us know. And so he's sitting down and he's like, no, that never happened. I never touched her. And basically they are telling him, you know, whether you touched her or not, at this point, it do not make a difference, because once it's out there, it's out there. Now, mind you, you know, Screw a lot that was hitting up Miss Stella mama, okay, he's clapping them damn cheeks. He had the nerve to be the first one to be like, Joe, look at me when I'm talking to you. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, with all due respect, don't you think it would be smarter to keep it in your pants? I said, now ain't this the pot calling the kettle black? Because we know for sure what you've been up to, buddy. Okay, Columbo really didn't touch this damn girl. And so, you know, of course he's telling them, listen to me good, I never touched his daughter. And, you know, they are just letting him know that that really is not our business, okay? But it's in the streets now that that is what was going down. So they was like, we have rules or whatever the case may be, and they're put in place. You know what I'm saying? The father's a father, a boss is a boss, and all that good stuff. And so he was like, and you guys just basically don't do nothing. You know, y'all good for nothing. This whole commission is bull crap, is useless. And you know what I'm saying? He gets up and he walks out. Now, in the meantime, you know, Bumpy and Battle was sitting back and kind of enjoying how this business is going. They seeing, you know what I'm saying, yeah, we gonna rock this. This is gonna work out just fine. We don't need that Gucci no more, okay? And so basically, you know, Gucci rather. And so basically Columbo over here, you know, trying to get info from Dan Bumpy. I'm like, I see you, you freaking slimy dog. I really expecting more from you, Bumpy. You know, they saying there's no business like show business or the coke business for that matter, right? And it was a smart plan, and he giving him his props and all of that kind of stuff, right? And saying they gotta go ahead and take it to the next level, the big shots, you know, the musicians and all that. And he says that they got 40 keys coming in tomorrow, and Bumpy is basically like, 40, that's too much. Okay, we don't need no 40. We need to be rolling this slowly. And Battle was talking about, you can have 40. You know, I trust you and I trust your instincts. I said, yeah, you may trust him, but he damn sure can't trust you, damn Battle, okay? And so he over here asking him, why do they hate Malcolm so much? What do they got against him? You know, and he admires him for how much he stand up for Michael and all that stuff, and stand by his, you know, him as a friend, and how he's protecting him. And he's like, why do you think our CIA friends just want him so bad, and why they so interested in him? And Bumpy basically says he's the most dangerous man in America. And he's like, yeah, but why? I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Trying to play dumb. And so he was like, nobody knows this, but Malcolm is going to be speaking at the United Nations. And I just wish Bumpy didn't even freaking tell Battle nothing, okay? And so he was like, you know, only me and you know, so this stays between us. And he was like, oh, trust me, you know what I mean? I will never betray your confidence, baby. Oh, Lord Jesus, if that ain't what Judas said, okay? So now, you know, moving on from that, you could kind of tell that Bumpy regretted it. It seemed like from the facial expression he made right after it came out his lips. And then we see the damn FBI coming in, you know, Bumpy asking them if they want a drink, and they like, nah, we here for Mr. Battle's arrest. And so he's like, and who are you? Just basically looking at them or whatever. And, you know, Assistant District Attorney Pike over here with this dumb smile on his face talking about some you're being charged with, you know, laundering or whatever. And they go ahead and pick him up and take him out. And so now Bumpy is really like, what the hell is going on? Okay. And so, you know, Pike over here waving bye to Bumpy as he walks out. Now, moving on from there, we basically, you know, see that Columbo's like, wait a minute, let me go over here and talk to Stella, okay, and get to the bottom of this, because knock, knock, girl, okay, yes, I'm here, oh, I see you're packing or whatever, you know, would you happen to know why your damn daddy want me dead so bad? And Stella playing stupid, talking about some, no, I have no idea, you know, why would he think that me and you are involved? Oh, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand where he could have possibly got that from. And he's like, you sure? It still seems like something is, you know, missing here. There's a piece of the puzzle missing. I feel like you're not telling me something. She's still talking about some, no, you know what I'm saying? Involved? What do you mean involved? Just trying to play the dumb, blunt, wrong, you know, role. And so she was like, I have no idea. Whatever do you mean? And so he's basically just looking at her, and he was like, man, you know, could you explain why his underboss would come and try to put a bullet in my head? He's like, this don't make no sense. And she was like, he says, you know, nah, you know, she's saying, nah, I don't think it's that. She was like, it can be. He was like, so what would have given him the idea that we was involved? And she's like, well, you know, because he says, any thoughts? And she was like, no, I have no idea. You know how my father is. She was like, shoot, he walks around in a bathrobe all the time or whatever, right? And he's just still like, nah, it's something you're not telling me. So finally, of course, Stella being damn Stella child, she want to talk about some, well, you know, his lawyer did see that necklace that you bought me, and he may have thought that something was going on based on him seeing that or whatever, right? He was like, come on now, Stella, you got to give me something else, because he put me in charge of protecting you, but then kind of put your life in danger by sending somebody to hit me with you standing in the same room. The math ain't mathing. And so this one, she coming up, child, trying to throw daggone, you know, his lawyer fireman under the damn bus. She's like, yeah, when I met with him, he saw the, chain, and he could have, drew the wrong conclusions. And so he's like, really? And did you, correct him or say that this was not, no way like that or whatever the case may be? And she's like, yeah, I did. He was like, okay, well, get him on the phone. Tell him you want to meet up with him. I want to talk to him. So I said, girl, Stella, you about to get damn fireman killed. She's talking about what you going to do to him. And he was like, I'm going to get down to what the hell is going on, okay? Because y'all ain't about to pin no bull crap on me. So I said, child, Stella, you just go from messier to messier, all right? Now, moving on from there, we got, old damn child, Wolfman, the CIA, okay, talking with Bumpy and his little side dude. And they saying, why would they come and arrest, battle, like something ain't right? And they start to tell Bumpy how it got to be somebody that's snitching. It got to be an inside job, and it got to be coming from his end. So they like, who all knows about the money and the situations that y'all up to? And Bumpy is like, just my bankers or whatever. So they telling him it got to be one of his men, but he was like, how y'all know? No, it's none of the other ones. And they basically saying, they gonna have to go ahead and take them out. And Bumpy was like, whoa, 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 slow down. I'm the one that checks my people and talks to my people and find out what's going on. Okay, I will make the, first decisions when it comes to that, because I doubt very much that is dumb. He was like, if that's the case, why would they pinch, battle and not me? And old Wolf guy talking about some damn, well, they basically know that they would take a shot at your partner because they know that you ain't gonna talk or whatever the case may be. That didn't even damn sound right, okay? And so he was like, more than likely they got a classified informant or whatever. And he was like, Bumpy's just like, rat, who? Like, that don't even make no sense or whatever, right? And of course, he's basically insinuating that it would be from Bumpy's side. And Bumpy is kind of saying, like, why can't it be from y'all side? He was like, it's only a banker and a judge that's on the payroll. That's it. So he was like, the math ain't mathing. And they was like, well, is anybody jumping out to you? Because they said in their minds, the one that would like go the hardest to deny it would be the one that is probably the one that's doing it. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, I'm going to press my contacts and see what we could pull. And so Bumpy, they talking about if we can't finger anybody, they all got to go. And Bumpy was basically like, nah, I handle my people. I'm going to deal with them first. I'm going to assess the situation or whatever. And so he like, okay, you go talk to your people or whatever. And me and Conrad gonna go ahead and look into things from our side, but be advised, if anything come up funny and shaky, okay, we will find out who it is and they will be handled with extreme prejudice. So I said, child, okay, whatever, right? And Bumpy get up and he leave. Now, Elise comes to Malcom with this cartoon that done been put in the paper, of him. And she's telling him it's getting worse, and she was like, this, they saying he deserved nothing short of death. And he's over here laughing, talking about they might as well have put, Farrakhan as the big bad wolf. And she's like, this ain't a joke. It's nothing funny. They blatantly talking about killing you. And he was like, listen, I'm just saying, I know about this already. All right, I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. And at the end of the day, I know what's coming. So he was like, I'm basically am ready or whatever, don't worry about this. In the meantime, he was getting a call about, the United Nations or whatever. And so, Elise is still trying to tell him, like, you're going to end up in a casket. And he pretty much told her, because she talking about what would Betty do, what would everybody that's working hard here do. He said, look, I know I'm going to die, Elise, okay? I'm living on barrel time and I'm making the most of it. And she was like, that doesn't have to be true. You can stop this. And he was like, I've been in 12 cities and, in the last couple of months or whatever the case may be. And I can't even tie my damn shoes without looking over my shoulder. And she was like, well, that doesn't mean that you give up. And he said, I'm tired of running, point blank, period. Okay, I'm not about to be hiding in no damn bush. Okay, if anyone comes at me, I'm going to be waiting with my dukes up. And so I said, Malcom, I hear you. All right. And, of course, Elise just looking because, she loved Malcom. Now we transfer over to damn old Ma. Trash ass. Okay. And he talking to old hater, sister hater number one. And she talking about some, oh, Malcolm's new followers must have a dash wish, same as he. And, thank you so much, brother. You have been the real one and the righteous one that was willing to stand up when nobody else, would. And you a hero and all this stuff. And then she talking about some, how Malcolm does. He brainwashes people and all this stuff. Ah, child, it make me sick to my stomach. And so she telling him how him and Captain Henry was the only ones to take courage and all of that. And so he said, yeah, well, it cost, Henry his life. And she was like, well, in a way, what you're doing now is even more poignant or whatever the case may be. And so he's basically like, well, soon Malcolm's guards will be down, child. All right. Because he's starting to basically, open up and let me in. And then she talking about it's really good to see you again, Omar. Like she wanted a little bit more than just this conversation about Malcolm. And so she talking about how she's so inspired by his tenacity. And so he was like, well, perhaps there's an opportunity for us to go ahead and collaborate and do some other things. And so, she's like, well, what do you have in mind? And he was like, if Moss number 7 was, compelled to take further action or whatever. And so she's like, oh, well, I don't know about all of that. Like she was a little bit, hesitant, talking about there's nothing to speak of. And he was like, we both know that's not true. And she was like, well, thanks to, you and the Henry thing, we also had to lay low. And so he's basically like, Henry and I, changed a whole bunch of things or whatever. And I'm not going to have his death be in vain. He was like, help me what we finish. Help me finish what we started or whatever. Right. And so she's basically telling him that, that would mean that our sister Mosque in Newark, who has stepped into the front line, and that he could go ahead and speak to Brother Clyde. And so he's like, okay, I'll do that. I said, child, flush Omar and Clyde down the damn toilet, y'all. All right. So moving on from there, they basically are trying to insinuate that the FBI has a snitch. Bumpy done went to see Battle, and Battle was talking about, how his friends, is telling him this or whatever, right? And Bumpy is still disagreeing, and he's saying, nah, it's probably, because Battle was trying to say is one of the, 3 cocksuckers that he bought me. Of course, that would be the little bankers that I'll be calling the 3 wise men. And so Bumpy said he doubt that, but he will go talk to them. He was like, could it be a snitch from your side? And Battle was telling him how it's impossible, and he's saying, get me up out of here. Now, of course, he's trying to insinuate that he don't trust Bumpy because why am I in here and you not? And Bumpy was like, that's a good question. And Battle talking about it's obvious. One of your friends made a deal. And he was like, they turned on me and betrayed you at the same time. And it's probably that fat ass judge. So, Bumpy is telling him, give him time to figure it out or whatever. And he was like, it's difficult in his position. So Bumpy said, listen, I've been in many prisons aside from daggone Alcatraz. Okay. So he was like, there's no one that wants your freedom more than me. And so Battle says, do what you must. So now Bumpy goes and sees, the judges. Of course, Paul was already trying to come out his face as Paul do, all right, and say that, how dare you, and we ain't got nothing to do with this, and so on and so forth. And Bumpy's like, slow your roll, shut the hell up, sit the hell down. Do any of y'all got anything to tell me? Are any of y'all passing out any information to the FBI? Anybody? Has the FBI came in here and talked to y'all and seen y'all about anything? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Like, this is not a game. This is serious. They are insinuating that they got somebody from the inside and y'all the only ones that had the records. And Archie basically was like, I could tell you right now that I have appreciated what you have done for us. You brung us in a lot of money. We down with you all the way 110%. Knowing me nor my brothers, okay, have had anything to do with this. And so Bumpy already knows that, being as though Mr. CIA Wolf was saying that the one that goes the hardest would be the one that they get, that's going to mean that Archie behind is going to be in trouble because he done gave out this whole speech, all right? Now we move over to Stella and Columbo. He over here saying, well, I guess you going to go now, and, everything, should be over, whatever, because Stella Child done had damn firemen brought in. They done beat damn Steinman all which way. sideways and up, okay? And Steinman still was holding it down. He still basically was like he couldn't say nothing. He couldn't talk about nothing. You know, he's like saying he ain't gonna be no damn lawyer for Jen no more, baby, because he done put a gun to his head and all different kind of stuff. And Feynman still was like, you know, I don't know nothing. I can't tell you what I don't know. He was like, the only thing I do know is that it's not just about the fact that he thought you was messing with Stella. It's also about the fact that you know, he feels like you are basically making too much money and you trying to take over everything. And he was like, what is he talking about? I just sent him 2 million like last damn month, last week, whatever it was. And he was like, well, it's not an act. He really is crazy. And so Stella was kind of backing that up and confirming it, because remember, Lombardi was telling her something about that as well. So then they say to cut him loose, and he was like, man, I'm up out of here. I ain't messing with none of y'all no more. And, you know, Columbo basically tells him like, oh yeah, you gonna mess with him, okay? You gonna mess with him and you gonna tell me everything that he's saying, all right? And he's like, I can't do that. He'll kill me. And he's like, if you don't, I'll kill you, okay? So which one you want? So at this point, Stella and Columbo sitting down to have some tea, and you know, he's saying how he gotta go ahead and handle all of this, you know, and she's basically telling him like, I got you or whatever. I'm gonna go talk to my father. He like, how the hell you gonna talk to him? What difference are you gonna make? What the heck are you supposed to do? And she was like, you know, there's things that I could do. She was like, you know, I'm so sorry that I got you in trouble and stuff like that. And then she was like, maybe you can appreciate why I really wanted to leave this damn country. And so, you know, he over here talking about some, don't worry about it. I'll figure it out. It's not your fight. And of course, Stella gotta finally crack and be like, because he talking about something, if you want to go ahead and take off, you know, you can now. She's like, well, I did lie a little bit. You know what I mean? I gotta miss something to you. She was like, I am the one that told Feynman that me and you was having a thing. And he was like, what? Are you crazy? Why would you do that? You know, oh, well, I was just trying to find a way out or whatever the case may be. But I ain't expect all this stuff, you know what I'm saying, to happen or whatever. And when I told him that, I did tell him not to tell my father, but he told him anyway. Of course he was going to tell him, Stella. He was like, do you have any idea what you done? Like, why the hell would you freaking do something like that? He was like, everything I work for is down the toilet now. And she's like, not necessarily, okay? There may be some things that we could do. He was like, now you made me your father's blood enemy for the rest of my life. And she said, well, I got you into this mess, so I'll get you out. So she was like, you know, I know how to handle my father. There's some things I could do. And he was like, how's that? And she was like, the other bosses. She was like, what if they all agreed to sanction him? You know, what would that do? And so he was like, it means if he kills me, they kill him. And so he's like, you really want to do something like that or whatever the case may be? And he was like, you know, they'll never do it anyway. So she was like, well, how about, you know what I'm saying, if we go ahead and bring up, you know what I'm saying, the fact that one of them is the ones that tried to kill me to begin with, then that would force them to do it, wouldn't it? That would be something you could use as leverage. Now, I knew this was going to come back up, but I didn't think it was going to come back up in this way particularly, okay? I thought that they was going to go ahead and end up killing homeboy and damn, you know what I'm saying, Mama Chin with her trifling behind. But instead, they want to use this for a little bit of blackmail, all right? And so she was like, I know one of them had something to do with it. We just got to find out which one. And he was like, you know, do you know which one it is? And she was like, no, but I know somebody that do. So we already knew that she was about to go over there and check on, you know what I'm saying, Mama Chin behind and see what the hell she talking about. Now, Omar is still over here, child. He done went to the mosque in Jersey that, you know, trifling behind hater number one sent him to. And they talking about these plans they had and how far they coming in the front lines or whatever. And, you know, Omar saying how he want to be in the front lines with him. And they was like, oh, well, because of your initial attempt, you know, we appreciate it or whatever the case may be, but we'll see what you could do. And he was like, nah, you know, what do you mean? You want me to just be on the sidelines or whatever? You don't want me to be out here fighting? They talking about how they got all taken care of. So then sister, you know, hater number two come over and she over here talking about somehow you and Elise reconciled and it's so important that y'all, you know, talk. She's being fooled by Malcom and all of this. And, you know, brother Clyde apologizes, talking about, I'm sorry for my wife. And he's like, no, it's okay. It's completely fine. And she's saying, you know, how she worry about Elise. I said, baby, you need to worry about your damn self, okay? And look in the freaking mirror. And she's saying, you know, brother Omar, we owe a debt to you and all of that. And I just have to speak the truth. Okay, he has done what, you know, dozens of us cannot do all by himself. And I'm like, this is really crazy how everybody's thinking this man is a damn hero. All right. And so she basically, you know, gets up and walks away after that. Right now, we had, you know, the CIA go to the FBI and say, you're going to have to let battle out. Okay. You tired of playing games with you. I know stuff on Hoover. I got pictures of him in a damn dress with a wig on and all of that good stuff. My boss could call your boss. Like, let's stop playing games. You know, let battle out by noon today. Okay. And the FBI laughing in his face and talking about some, you know, no, you can't do nothing. And, you know, we don't take your orders and all of this. We got the upper hand. You just mad. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got him type of thing or whatever. But once he brung up that damn dress, you know, homeboy was quiet and he got up and walked out. And so then we have battle and, you know, Miss Stella go over to mama house and was waiting for her when she got home. And he was like, look, I'll be trying to be a gentleman. Don't make me rough your behind up, okay? Don't let me get discourteous up in here. You gonna take us to where that body's at. You gonna sing a little song and tell us who it was that, you know what I'm saying, you colluded with to go ahead and put this death warrant on your dead husband or whatever, you know? And he was like, I ain't got nothing to lose because your husband already wants me dead, because she over here talking about, oh, you could die for this and I'll call the cops and all this other stuff. But he let her know he ain't got nothing to lose. So he was like, you want to tell us where we need to dig this body up? So, of course, they out there digging up the body. It's stinking and rotten. And he was like, you always could just, you know, spill the beans or whatever the case may be, instead of having us out here going through all this. You know, of course, she trying to say F you and spit at him and tell Stella she always knew she was raggedy, okay, and she wasn't no innocent chick or whatever. And then we have Mr. CIA sideman coming up telling them, you know, FBI Pike, you messing me up, you know. He tells him I needed a fall guy. He was like, well, you gonna have me in problems with Bumpy Johnson and you putting me out there, whatever the case may be, where stuff could come at me. And so he told him, like, are you gonna do something, or did you just come here to complain, Conrad? We don't want to hear your complaints now, whatever. And then he was like, well, I'm the one that was able to find out that, you know, Malcom was speaking at the UN and stuff like that. And so, you know, Pike talking about, yeah, now he want to talk not just to the country, but to the whole world or whatever the case may be. And what's Harvey going to do? And he was like, well, that fat guy, you know, he got stuff laid out on the table, you know what I mean? His own plans or whatever. So he's just telling him, like, you basically are putting me, you know, in danger. And he's Pike is telling Conrad, like, you need to dig a little deeper. He was like, you're putting me deeper in danger. And Bumpy is growing suspicious, and he's like, oh, well, you know, that's Johnson nor the CIA is gonna stop us from digging into Malcom or whatever, right? Just figure out Harvey's next move, all right? And so, child, Conrad, baby, you could kiss your behind goodbye, right? So moving on from that, you know, after Bumpy finds out, you know, listen, Archie could be in some trouble here. He basically comes home, Mamie over here about to make her a sweet potato pie, talking about shit makes her feel better. And she was like, you know, call up Archie wife, tell her to pack up, that, you know, was a trip that we were supposed to take, but we couldn't make it, so we giving them the tickets and let them go on the trip. And she's like, why? And of course she talking about some, what have you got him into and all this different kind of stuff, right? And in the meantime, you know, sorry, y'all. In the meantime, Columbo was able to find out that it was Frank Boboa or Frank Bobozo, whatever, that is the person that is basically essentially was in the damn hole. He says, oh, I know him and I know exactly who he be down with, because he always wears this watch and it was a gift from him or whatever the case may be. So he was like, you want to go ahead and spill the rest of the beans and make me understand how you was able to, you know, get him to turn and damn, you know, go with a hit against your damn daughter. So of course now she ain't got no choice but to tell. Now, of course, Archie and his wife is leaving to go on this trip, and Archie wife talking about, oh, I'm so happy, I'm so excited, you know, wasn't that so nice of Bumpy? And Archie's like, yeah, that's real strange though. Why the hell would Bumpy be all of a sudden giving us tickets and talking about they can't make it? And of course, Here we go. Somebody walk up to the car before they leave, and pop, pop, pop goes the weasel. Archie is up out of here. So Archie's wife is crying to Mamie, like, oh my God, I can't believe this. We was there since, we was together since we was teenagers. Ever since that day, we have never been separated. She's like, he's never done nothing to anybody. So this really does not make any sense. Why would anybody want to hurt him? And she's like, the police, of course, are not telling her nothing, not trying to help her with nothing. So she was like, you got to talk to Bumpy. I know Bumpy can help me, and I know he will get down to the bottom of it. And Mamie is basically just looking. Now, Columbo got ahead in here, all right, to see Mr. Boss that thought he was being slick. And he's like, oh, yeah, Frank Barbonzo. And he's like, oh, he's in Florida. He like, no, he's in a damn hole, okay, that we just dug up. He's dead, because Stella Gigante killed him. That's where he at. And now, she's a one tough broad, I gotta admit. And he's like, okay, well, what does that have to do with me? He's like, apparently it got a whole lot. And he go ahead and bring in Miss Olympia, okay? And he have a seat, and he's like, what the hell is she doing here? Why do you have her here? And of course she, he's saying, Olympia, what's going on? And she's like, he knows, Tommy. He knows. Okay, I had no choice. He knows everything, Of course I had to tell him. And he was like, so you the one that put the hit out on the damn boss's daughter, and you screwed his wife? And she was like, you think I offered this information? He threatened me. I had no choice. So he talking about some, get her out of here, whatever the case may be. This is not a place for a woman. I said, child, it ain't a place for you either. Okay. So Columbo was like, yeah, what we gonna do? You gonna have to go ahead and tell them other bosses, because, I don't know, Tommy, if I could keep this quiet, this might get out in the streets, but I know you don't want that. And so, of course, when he's like, what do you want, Joe? He's like, I need you and the other bosses to sanction Chin for the hit on me. He's like, oh, I can't get the other bosses to even agree to that. They're not going to go against Chin or whatever the case may be. And, he's like, well, I'm sure you're going to figure out a way, because if you don't, all the sanction has to say is that if anything happens to me, he dies, period. That's all you got to do. And so he talking about, that's it, Joe. And he said, yeah, half of your damn profits as well. So then he talking about F you. He says, well, I got my life in your hands. It's your choice. You know what I'm saying? Word gets out and you don't make it past breakfast tomorrow. How about that? And of course, Tommy over here talking about UMFer, and then Joe told him one more thing. Part of the reason for the hit was because he thought, not only did he think I was screwing his daughter, which I wasn't, but the other part was that he thought I was trying to take over all his territory. He was like, now I am. Harlem is mine. Okay, I'm taking over Harlem. I said, yeah, it ain't yours though. Okay. Now, in the meantime, here come fake ass Omar acting like he being a big help, and he done found a bug inside the place, and he heard things, and he spoke to them over at the mask, and they planning to kill him. And so he's saying goodbye and giving Malcom a handshake and saying goodbye to Elise, trying to make it all freaking sentimental and sad. And sure enough, Malcom includes him and tells him he want to put him on security. I said, you know what? I'm sick of y'all, okay? But I knew this is where the damn story was going. This was the whole setup, and all while he had the googly eyes and please forgive me, baby, please, 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 with Elise smiling in her damn face, just so he could get closer to Malcom and make Malcom trust him and help them damn take him out. Get out my damn face, Omar, okay? So moving on from there, Bumpy ends up going to the damn FBI office and was basically like, yo, what the hell is good? Why did you come after Archie like that? What, I'm saying? And that's how y'all do things. Y'all don't even, protect y'all damn witnesses that y'all have and stuff. And the guy's Pike is like, what are you talking about? First of all, I don't know who Archie is. Even if I did, I don't give out information pertaining to no damn, cases or whatever the case may be. He was like, we don't have nothing to do with that. He was like, you barking up the wrong tree. Okay, you are basically in a pond in a bigger damn, thing is going down that's way above you, Bumpy. You really think I give a damn what happens in some ghetto in some hood in damn Harlem or whatever, and you over here pushing your coke and making your little money? He was like, nah, we got bigger things we thinking about. And so Bumpy get up and end up seeing a big ass damn billboard of Malcom and the whole United Nations thing, and the wheels in his head start turning, and he like, oh, y'all MFers, okay? I see where this is going. And then, basically, of course, Columbo comes back to Stella again, and he's like, you know, you smart, and you really be having your head on your shoulders. You be smart and be doing things better than a lot of my men. He like, you know, where you on your way to? When she was talking about going back, you know, to Philly, then here he come with a damn ticket for her to go to Paris, and he's saying that he even paid for her to, you know, stay in a first class motel for a week. But of course, you know, I really don't want to see you go. I would really want you to stay here. And she's like, well, what are you talking about? And he was like, you know, I ain't talking about nothing romantic with us. Okay, I'm talking business. I really could use you as a business partner. So she is like, really? You think that you could do something like that with me? And he's saying, yeah. So she says, well, I'll give it a try. You know, I can always still leave when I'm ready to. Yeah, okay. So moving on from there, child. Now they gonna be damn business partners. I said, you trust her, Columbo? Baby, I would be like this the whole time with damn Stella. So moving on from there, you know, Bumpy comes in to miss the damn battle, okay? Conrad and old Wolf. And he says all roads leads to Malcom. They sitting here laughing it up or whatever the case may be. He was like, yeah, I got y'all number or whatever, you know, because Wolf talking about I would be very careful playing with fire. He was like, no, the CIA and the FBI have been duking it out to see who could bring home the damn scalp. And you could even throw the damn NYPD in for good measure. So Battle over here talking about what are you talking about? He was like, apparently your fools, you know, your friends fooled you. He was like, there was no rat. It was just the damn CIA and the FBI. Okay. And the big picture was that they all want a piece of damn Malcom. And so they arrested you to slow down Harvey's momentum on damn Malcom or whatever the case may be. Not a rat or a mole. And so, you know, of course, Wolf talking about some FU. And he was like, no, I'm been rolling around in my head all damn day trying to figure out who else will have access to the records. And basically the mole is Conrad. So, of course, Conrad talking about something. No, what is he talking about? You know, that's a lie and blah, blah, blah. And Bumpy done pulled out that damn gun and was like, you know, you son of a bitch, you know, you bullshitting or whatever. He was like, he offered up Archie, you know, Conrad is FBI. And y'all sitting here letting him play with y'all and sort of y'all damn thumbs, you know, thumbs at the CIA as well. And of course, Conrad talking about that's bull crap and F you and that's not true. So Bumpy done pulled out that gun and was like, I'm going to shoot you in your damn knee first. So here it is. Wolf want to talk about, look, I'll be taking care of it from here because he was my man. And he tells Conrad, come on, tell the truth. You could tell me no matter what it is. You know what I'm saying? You know I don't went to your child's christening and all of that kind of stuff. You know. And he's like, I'm serious. I'm not no damn mole. I don't know what the hell he's talking about or whatever the case may be. And Wolf goes ahead and puts two in his damn head and was like, you know what? I can't take no chances. I don't know whether he was or wasn't. But at the end of the day, we don't play about that. Okay. And then Bumpy turns and tells Battle. And I know you ain't crap either. Okay. I know that they had to get the information about Malcom being after you and from you. So bye-bye to you too. Okay. Our friendship is over, our partnership is over, toodaloo, okay, and skip to my loo. So then, you know, we see him Mamie packing up a damn bag or whatever when he get home, and he's like, what's this? And she basically slaps him and walk out the door. And I was just like, Mamie girl, like what? First of all, and I usually, even when I don't agree with you, I can understand where you coming from and why some of your reactions be the way the way that it be. But in this case, this had nothing to do with Bumpy. This was over Bumpy's head, okay, child. He was over here trying to figure out what the heck was going on, too. And so I'm confused as to why the hell you slapping him and mad at him and walking out the door. But y'all tell me what y'all thought about this episode, child. That was Godfather Harlem. Put it in the comments. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, you know, what you rated and all that good stuff. Anything that I left out, put it in the comments. Sorry, y'all. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you are so inclined. Give me a wave. Let me know you came by. Put some flames up in the sky. Till next time.